Hello, everybody. My name is Inka Heikkinen, and to my day job, I work as a global regulatory policy lead at Lundbeck. I'm also a part of the FPO work under HTA regulation, and especially on that interface between the regulatory and HTA, the future HTA system. And with DIA, we want to invite you to a session, actually a course, on how to navigate the future parallel HTA and EMA processes in the EU that's going to take place the day before DI Europe 25 in Basel. And today we wanted to actually answer a few questions, what you could expect from our sessions should you join it. Isabel, you have been working a lot around this preparation for the future regulation. Why do you think such a course is so important for a regulatory affairs professional?
Thank you for the question, Inga. Hi, everyone. I'm Isabel Stöckert. As a former head of Regulatory Affairs Europe of Bayer, I've been part of the EU HTA task force in our company, getting ready for the last 24 months. We are now facing an EU-wide health technology assessment in parallel to the centralized procedure at the EMA. This provides a completely new dimension to our development and approval process. In our course, you will learn how this will change our job in regulatory affairs and how you can get prepared. Nadej, you also have experience in this from a global company perspective, right?
Hello, I'm Nadej Lahu. I'm from Bristol Myers Squibb, and I'm following the topic from quite a long time, 2013, where already some interactions between the HTA and the regulators and different pilots have already built some future interactions and how they will be working together, the synergies, and therefore was also involved as a HTA task force for the readiness of this new HTA regulation. I think all global companies have built HTA task force to get ready. And so I'm really looking forward to this new HTA regulation and DIA learning to share with you experience, understanding. And Inka, I think there are a lot of work on the implemented act, and you are the expert on the implemented act. So where do you see interface between the regulatory and the ecosystem?
Thanks, Nada. So indeed, in the first session, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the legislative framework. So over the past 3 years, the transition period, as we call it, there has been multiple different implementing acts, which we call the secondary legislation, and also guidelines, the soft law that has been adopted. Really, actually, the latest one has been now towards the end of this year in 24. That's going to be very fresh that we're analyzing. What we exactly going to look at is the regulation itself, the joint clinical assessment process, how it's going to run in parallel with the EU marketing authorization application process, the timeline perspective, what is the rules of exchange of information between the EMA and the coordination group at the EU HTA, and also the subgroups, and then also, of course, the parallel joint time consultation between the HTA bodies and the EMA, should you go for that. And I think the latest one, which I really want to give a teaser on, is that in the scoping guidance, for example, it says that in the scoping meeting, the companies can request for one should really bring their regulatory affairs experts, specifically mentioned in the guidelines. So I think this is very, very relevant for regulatory affairs professionals to know what it is and what to expect based on the legislative framework.
Thanks a lot, Inka. And indeed, Isabel, in the session too, what are all new challenges in the interface between HTA and regulatory processes?
On a very practical basis, in session 2, we will look into this. There are overlaps in the HTA and the regulatory dossier, for example. Decision-making on the target population runs in parallel. Hence, we need innovative dossiers and label strategies and constant alignment on the target population, because there are countries where label and HTA assessment scope are linked by law. The HTA adds new stakeholders at the time when project teams have very scarce resources. And much of this will remain volatile until we have gained more experience. This is the perfect storm for a team that is about to submit their asset to a centralized procedure now. That is what we want to talk about in session 2.
So Nadej, for yourself, you have been a part of this task force internally for your company. What will be your key learnings, what we will hear about from you?
I think with such a new legislative framework that is really changing the ecosystem and the environment and the relation between the regulators and the HTA, education, and indication is key critical. It needs to be internal, learning in what is the new process, how can we anticipate, where can we get ready, and because we are running in parallel, where can we start early maybe? How do we anticipate the uncertainty? Where do we reduce the uncertainty? And also, I think what is key is also contributing to a learning system, sharing experience, sharing the knowledge, understanding, and also discussing that understanding together. And in the future, maybe the outlook of the future development will be key, because it's also how do we adapt something that is working, not working well? How do we adapt something that is working well, but maybe we can get more efficient? So those learning are very critical. So we all invite you to join us for the lively discussion. Please come and join us. We hope to see you on March 17 in Basel, just before the DIA Europe. Thanks.